Hi everyone, Nisuart here. I draw for fun and I make videos for fun. And today I want to talk about God of Highschool, episode 8. It was alright. So let's just get into it. So we start with the Robin wannabe, who used that lightning bolt. He's in hospital, he's getting treated. And the blue-haired guy who, maimed him, he's been disqualified. So that's a way to start an episode. Then we get to the other 3 fights with, I say 3 fights. Well, yeah, it is 3 fights. What am I talking about? So we get the Park, Ipyo, and his group. Yeah. So there's this dude that looks like Sasuke and some random person on Park Ipyo's team. And the Sasuke lookalike wins. So then we get another fight with Park S. I don't know her name. I know it's Park S. Anyway, she's taking on this huge guy, and she wins with 1 kick to the guy's jaw. And the way she did that was she used the big guy's size against him, and obviously he was attacking very slowly, and got a kick right to the jaw. I was like, oh, that was painful. And then we find out that Han Daiwei has been suspended for interfering with the fight in the previous episode. So then Mira's annoyed. She's like, oh, look at you're always doing this. And then she's like, you too, Mori. But then Mori seems like he spaces out, and he's just looking at Park Ipyo's back, which has a tiger on it. He's like, oh, where have I seen that before? So then we get Park Ipyo versus, I'm going to call him Cherry Boy Hater, or Cherry Hater. And so Ipyo uses this thing that looks like haki. I'm like, whoa, this dude wants to be King of the Pirates. Kaizuku ni oru wa naru. Okay, I see it. Or something you'd see in Fairy Tale. You just got guild arts. He's got that pressure. You see that bringing down Natsu. Anyway, so he's like, oh, you can't beat me. Just give up. It doesn't work. And apparently he's been using that in previous fights against all these other enemies. And it's worked before. It didn't work this time. So then he starts fighting, and I'm like, whoa, this guy is fighting like he's got paws instead of hands. Like, you see him, he's flailing his hands about. Whoa, this guy's kind of cool still. So then he uses, what's it called? A tekyo or something like that, to speed up his movements. Then he kicks the Cherry Hater in the jaw. Again, I'm like, what's with this kicking in the jaw business? Like, these people, oh jeez, painful. And this kick, right, is so good, Rock Lee would be impressed. I tell you what. So then Mori sees this, like, oh, by the way, Park Ipyo wins, obviously. So then Mori looks at his bag, and he sees the tiger. He's like, oh, I remember now. And he realizes that his grandpa was, he had that on his uniform back in the military. So I'm thinking Mori and Ipyo are going to have some sort of rivalry or something. So then the main cast, we cut to the main cast. They're walking in the park. Obviously the main cast being Mori, Mira, Han Daiwei. And they're just talking. They're like, Han is like, no, Daiwei is just saying that he needs to get stronger. He needs to learn that stand power. That's not what it's called, but I'm gonna call it stand power. And Mori's like, nah, I don't want to use that power. Because it's someone else's, I don't want to use it. He's like, I need to get stronger myself, or there's no point. So then he dips. He just leaves. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going this way. So Mira and Daiwei are looking at each other like, what's this guy's problem? What's up with him? So then we flash to, we cut to the guy with the X on his forehead. and he's talking to Mori, talking about his grandpa, saying that there are people after him, and he has pictures of the fight that Mori's grandpa had. There's blood everywhere in these pictures. So then he's like, there's a slim chance he'll be, he's alive. So then, obviously, in classic protagonist fashion, he's got the protagonist face on, and he's got the voice, and he makes this comment like, "I'd be more worried about the opponents that are after my grandpa." I'm like, okay, we get it. Your grandpa is OP, all right. So then, Ipio comes in to Mori, who's just resting in the park from this memory, and he shakes his hand, and then Mori tries to ask him a question. Then Ipio just starts attacking him. I'm like, what are you doing? So then Ipio's like fist is like within like centimeters, no, inches, against Mori's face, and he's like, Mori says to him, "Why not finish it?" So then Ipio's like, "I could say the same to you." And Mori's foot is like, the toes are just touching Ipio's head from above. So I'm like, whoa, these two. So then Ipio introduces himself properly, and Mori asks about the tiger, to which he then responds, "Oh, it's my way of showing respect to Jin Teiji, who is Mori's grandpa." So then we flash back to 14 years ago, where Ipio is attending his dad's funeral. Then his mum leaves him with an uncle. And then he what's his name? Ipio is just saying how, being raised in this dojo, he feels out of place. And then his uncle like tries to teach him, and then he just gives up on him. And in the process of giving up on him, he then disses Ipio's granddad. So I'm like, whoa, what's with the hostility to the kid, man? So then Ipio is just sitting against a tree, sad. And then Teiji comes out of nowhere and is like, "Yo, I'm a friend of your grandpa. I'd have been here sooner, but I was beating up some bad guys." Then Mori's head, the way he's carrying Mori. Oh my gosh. He's got one of those things like, you know when you're carrying a baby and you have like, it's sort of like a vest that you carry them in. It's funny seeing him like that. So then what's it? Oh yeah, I was gonna make a comment. What is it with grandpas in anime being like hella strong? We got Grandpa Gohan, who taught Goku, and we all know how Goku turned out. We got freaking. I know Master Roshi isn't a grandpa, but like he's old, and I'm like, what is it with like old dudes? Like the hella strong. Like freaking Master Roshi could hold his own in the Tournament of Power. So I'm like, hold on, Master Roshi versus Jin Teiji. Homoshiroi. Anyway, apparently Ipio's granddad died saving the world with Teiji. And then Teijin says, "I want you to grow up to be strong like your granddad." So then the flashback ends, and we cut to the what's his face? Mori? No, Ipio? Yes. Mori and Ipio are talking, right? And Mori's then asked, "How is your grandpa?" And before Mori could ask properly, the guy with the blue hair tries to stab them, and I'm like, whoa! So then Ipio stops it with his hand. Like there's this massive like tooth coming right at them, and then Ipio he stops it with his hand. I'm like, whoa! So he's got like a massive hole in his hand, and what's it? The guy's like, "It's okay if you hate me." Like this is what's his name? Ipio talking to the blue haired guy. He's like, "Oh, it's okay if you hate me, but let's not drag other people into it." So then the guy with the blue hair walks off, and then Mori and Ipio say bye to each other, and then Mori's like, he stands up, and he's like, this isn't good enough. So then he slaps his face, because he's distracted. So he's trying to focus. And then we cut to Q, who's like hella annoyed right now, and he just rocks up, angry as hell. He comes up to the guy with the X on his forehead and is like, "Why did you let Sim Bonksa's wife and kid die?" So then Q is then slammed backwards by the guy with the X on his forehead's power and crushed into the large TV. And then after the guy with the X on his forehead lets him go, he then throws a bill at him for the destruction of the apartment, which wasn't even his fault. He was being assassinated and it just exploded. So now he has to bill for that. So that's on top of his 2 pay cuts. And I'm just there like, sorry, is him losing money supposed to be a running gag? Because I just feel bad for him now. So then we find out that the wife and kid are fine. They've been, put to a safe location. And it turns out what Nox tried to kill wasn't actually them. It was a marionette made by the person, what's her name? The girl with blue hair, in the suit. I'll learn their names, don't worry. So then she says to Q, that's 9 months without pay. Oh, her name is P. Right. So, gosh. Han Daiwei then runs into Q, who is scavenging for money at this point. Man's literally he's under one of them vending machines trying to find a coin. And then he says, Han Daiwei. He then says to Q, he's like, yo, let me, train me so I can use the stand power. So then Q says to him, he's like, why do you want this power? What's it for? And, what's his name? Daiwei is like, yeah, I need to beat Mori. So then I'm thinking like, okay, so the relationship that, Daiwei and, Mori have is sort of like Vegeta and Goku, Sasuke and Naruto, Gray and Natsu, Kobe and Luffy, Yuno and Asta. I'm like, okay, I like it. Rival da. Anyway, so then it cuts to the guys in the red hoods. They're plotting to ruin the God of Highschool tournament. The commissioners are then ordered to remove their limiters, and if they come into contact with any Nox members, that they have to fight them with full force. And both the commissioners and the dudes in red hoods are after the key that can strike down God, which is implied by the way that it's edited. It's implied that it's Mori. So that's going to be important for later. Then we flash back to Mori being left by his grandpa on his 6th birthday, because obviously there are bad guys after Jin Teiji. So he has to leave Mori on his own. And Mori's talking to the picture they took together on his 6th birthday as like a gift. He's saying to his grandpa, yeah, I turned 17 today. So then seconds later, the rest of the group, being Mira and Daiwei, say happy birthday. And I'm like, yeah, cheese! They're good friends, man. So then they go onto the roof, and they're talking. Is it the roof? Anyway, they go outside, and they have like food. They brought food, and Mira, she's like, here's the food I made, and the food she has, right? It's sort of like, I'm sure it tastes nice, but like it looks scary. Like he's like, wow, like that. That's what Mori's expression is. And then obviously my guy Han Daiwei comes with all these boxes he's like full of food he's cooked, and they look amazing. Like they look really good. So then you can tell Mira's jealous, and Mori's like, oh, Day, you can cook. I'm like, yeah, of course he can. That's my guy, Anyway, so then Day picks up more, what's her name? Mira's food. And when he starts analyzing it, so I'm there like, whoa, my boy, are you Yukihiro-sama or something? Or maybe Nakiri, what's her name? I'm trying to remember now. Nakiri Erina? With that god tongue. and they ignore him, obviously, and they eat all the food. And then it cuts to Day, he's got cake, and he's mad proud of himself, like, yeah, yeah. And then Maury, like, he has these, like, quotes from his grandpa in his head, like, oh, make friends, make friends. And he's like, yeah, I got friends. And the episode ends with a map and a picture of Maury's grandpa and a location as to where he's, like, being held captive. Because he's got chains. He's got like, one of his arms came off, obviously. So yeah, the end of the episode. To be honest, it was alright. It was kind of, it was a bit slow. It was slower than last week's episode. When it got to the fights, that was when obviously it was fast paced. But in terms of like pacing, it was it was alright. But yeah, that was the end of the video. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at nesu.art. And yeah, goodbye.